She was a sort of cross between Paderewski and Jack Sharkey. Music with muscle. Real character, Mrs. Prosser. Poor Dab. When the talkies hit Wales, people like her will be out of a job. Happens to us all, she sighed. He shivered involuntarily. Let's talk about something else. Over a cup of coffee? Coffee? I have to work this evening. Oh, yes, I forgot. Coffee is all I have time for, Merle. Where shall we go? I know just the place. They were part of a large crowd that surged out of the cinema and made its way along Lincoln Avenue. Discussion all around them was loud and fevered. Little Caesar had left its patrons feeling exhilarated. Snatches of dialogue were being recalled, favourite scenes remembered. To impress their wives or girlfriends, amateur impersonators were already trying to mimic Rico. One guy even reenacted his death at the end of the film and went down in a heap on the pavement. Sally nudged Merlin. Now you have seen a murder in Chicago. She led him down a side street, then checked for traffic before crossing it diagonally. They were soon letting themselves into a small restaurant. Merlin was glad when they were shown to a table. Seated opposite her, he was able to look at Sally properly for the first time, and she did repay study. Short, blonde hair framed a pale, oval face, given definition by generous lips, a delightful snub nose, and the biggest pair of blue eyes he had ever seen. It was a clear, open face, untouched by the distortions that came from concealment and deception. The cinema had bestowed a token intimacy on them, and they held hands during the latter stages of the film, but that did not compare with the pleasure of appraising Sally Fisk afresh. Merlin was an architect. He preferred a front elevation. They ordered coffee and pastries, then subjected the film to closer analysis. Both had enjoyed it, but for very different reasons. It seemed only seconds before the waitress returned with their order. Merlin sat up in surprise. He caught sight of the clock on the wall. Time was racing by at a cruel speed. Do you really have to work this evening? He said. Afraid so. Can't you give it a miss? They need me. So do I. She smiled. The hotel pays me more than you do. You don't belong there, Sally. How else do I earn the rent? You're a creative artist, a questing spirit. What you need is the freedom in which to experiment and develop. What I need is more commissions, Merlin, she said bluntly. Then I could afford to buy some of that lovely freedom and follow my vocation. Until then, I have to work as a hotel clerk or whatever else brings in the bucks. Besides, she said, her smile broadening, I like the hotel. The job has its compensations. Is that all I am? He protested. A compensation? A very nice one. Thank you. How else would we have met? In an art gallery, probably. Yes, that would have been much more appropriate. Bumping into each other in the shadow of an old master. Welsh architect meets commercial artist from Illinois. Kindred spirits. Instead of which, he recalled with a sigh, I charged into your lobby in a state of panic because I was late for an appointment with a potential client, and you were the faceless member of the hotel staff who told me where to find him. She bridled. Faceless? Anonymous. Jeez. What I mean is, I took you for what you seemed to be. A faceless, anonymous freak. No, Sally. Truth is, I didn't give you a second glance. You were just one more attractive girl behind a reception desk. Part of the hotel furniture. Handsome but functional. It never occurred to me that you made a living illustrating books. I don't, Merle. You did, for a while. Those days are gone. They'll come back one day. She raised a skeptical eyebrow. Will they? Of course. I admire your optimism. It's not optimism, Sally. It's self-belief. Don't forget that. I'm in the same boat as you, struggling to find employment.